turn on my mic here. Hi everyone, welcome back to The Next Normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. Yes, I'm still down with whatever this is. Allergies, the bug, whatever it is. But I've come to learn that anything outside of me is not more powerful than the soul. It is the soul that has all the power. It is the soul that dictates what it wants to do or feel. Even though there's perhaps a pre-recording story sitting inside, I, as the soul, still have the power of will to guide while I'm in the body. When I'm in the body, the support of wisdom, which is truth of the self, or the ego, which is the entertainment or the drama of the self, plays out in what I think, in how I feel, or even the choices that I make. Well, as you all know, we're going to lose my little mom. I won't say that. Let me redo that. That came from a human part of me just now, which is good and is still fine. What I meant to say is, Sister Gita is going to change her role. She's going to leave her body like we all are, but she's preparing to leave a body that no longer is suitable for her soul. Her soul is so much more powerful than the body that she's currently in. You've got the driver, which is the soul, and you've got the car, the vehicle, which is the body. The body has been driven for many, many decades. I know, like in countries like in India, or maybe in Cuba, or in some European nations, we can keep cars like the Ambassadors, or, what was this car we used to have? Gosh, I forgot the name of it. It was such an old car, Pinto. In America, it was the Pinto, very old car. My dad used to have a car called Volare, and he held that car for maybe 30 years in great condition, by the way. But just imagine driving the same car for 80 years, 90 years, 100 years. It goes through a lot of wear and tear. And so at some point, the driver says, I can't stay in this car anymore. It's not going anywhere. It's not doing much anymore. And so the journey of the departure of the soul. But then what happens to the soul after the departure? And the concept of reincarnation is something that many of us have often heard of. In Hindu culture, it is a norm that we do come back, and in certain other traditions. But what is it about this concept of reincarnation? How can I understand what it means? Last night when I was with Sister Gita, who is my mother, I'm whispering in her ear, don't you forget our address. Remember this address, 15 Road. And make sure, I know you're going to find a beautiful family. Find me. Just come back. And we'll do so much service. She looks at me. Okay. And so reincarnation is this thing where we are souls and the soul won't die. It leaves the body. It carries the memories of the experiences it has had while it was in the body. 75 to 80% of our experiences are good, are fine, perhaps average, normal. And then there are the 25% or the 20% or the 15% of experiences that created inside of the soul the experience and left a memory of trauma, loss, fear, blame, shame, disappointment, guilt, anger, just those memories. And so, example is, for example, Sister Gita was orphaned at 7. Imagine never seeing your parents coming back home and being placed in an orphanage of just a whole bunch of strange kids. That was very traumatic. When she had to identify her parents to go after the Kendall train crash in Jamaica had occurred, this little girl is looking at dead bodies. I mean, just imagine the trauma. There are people who have lost families in fires. There are people who have been married in abusive experiences. There are children who have gone through incredible abuse by their parents, not really knowing where to go and feeling, well, these are the only people I know, but they lock me up in a room, they do this, they starve me, they beat me. Sometimes there's incest by even the parents on the child or a relative. And the soul is like, this doesn't feel right. They feel scared. They feel undervalued. They feel angry. They feel powerless. Think about all the people, all the Africans that were transported on slave ships. Think about all the people in the Spanish Inquisition. Think about what the soul went through during a war and the scene of that experience. Think about if a soul finds itself in a situation where they're living in a brothel. What is the soul feeling? What is the memory the soul is carrying? You understand what I'm saying? And then you've got where, as a soul, you have great food, parties, travel, food, shelter, clothing, love, friends, freedom. You understand what? It feels these things, it experiences these things. And based on the experience that the soul holds onto or keeps in the memory track that we called sanskaras, or in the personality, each time the soul enters a new body, it carries the personality of its experience. Now, don't ask me why we don't always remember all of our many lives of the past. Brian Weiss, who was Sister Gita's friend back in the day, many masters, many lives. As the soul, in the teachings of Raj Yoga, Baba, God the Supreme, has shared that the soul takes a maximum of 84 lives and a minimum of 1 life, 1 birth. The souls who take 1 birth, hey, let's go. Who cares about anyone else? It's all about me. The souls who take many more than 1, they've come to do service. How can I be an instrument to help? The older souls, 50, 60, 70 lives, just think about the memory you're carrying. But also think about the experiences that you've had. So you're like a wisdom keeper on the earth, like our Sister Gita, like myself, like many individuals who have offered their life to help humanity instead of living the life that is only comfortable for them without any restrictions, so to speak, except the restrictions that they impose on themselves from their own thinking pattern. So the soul carries these memories. And sometimes you've heard in BBC documentaries that some souls will tell you they remember where they were before this present incarnation. So in the hospital, I'm telling Sister Gita, don't you forget our address. You bring those parents that you're going to enter the womb of another mother. You bring your mother to me. I will teach her Raj Yoga meditation. You will come out of her womb as a happy little baby, and we will do unlimited service together like we did for almost 40 years. She looks. It's a fascinating concept, isn't it? Just imagine if anyone out there might be going through the transition of a parent or a friend. I just heard, actually, my cousin texted me 2 days ago. She lost her husband, Tony, on Tuesday. And Andrea, I want you to know that our deepest wishes are with you and your family and the girls and everyone, because I know how it must feel if it was apparently instant, I believe. But for the soul of Tony, Andrea, just keep sending him your blessings and your good wishes. What we will do when Sister Gita decides to do her transition, knowing that we want the soul to safely travel to her next destination, and also whenever she decides to come back, that she's also protected as a soul, is the process is we will, do a reincarnation, then a service, and for the 13 days after the cremation, every day from 7 in night, we will just meditate on the soul and bring Baba's light around her energy, so that there's no other thought or energy or distraction. She needs to stay focused on her next journey. Remember, I've given her our address, where to find us, and how to continue on the path. And so for those 13 days, we prepare her favorite foods. We offer the food to God, favorite music, godly music, meditation, prayer, just vibrations, because the soul still exists. Many years ago, when I really went into the depth of understanding Raj Yoga teachings, I realized I really don't lose anyone. They're here. They just might not be physically right here with me, but you and I don't see each other or friends every day. We're still existing, right? Some of my friends are in Israel, London, Africa, Turkey, China, from all over the world, and they're not physically with me, and I know they're there. Maybe I'll call them 3-4 times a year. Maybe I'll see them. Maybe I have friends that I see every day, but we're all still here. And so the concept of reincarnation for me is saying, do right by yourself, do right to yourself, do right by being right with others. You've got to look into your own heart, because there comes a particular time in your journey you won't have any time to make amends. Being truthful, honest, open, loving, kind, generous, an instrument to help others. That's the reason why the soul is in the body. And we keep reincarnating and coming and going because there are also things that we have to figure out. So this concept of reincarnation for me, in essence, says, I take with me the life experiences, I come back, I live it out. It sometimes gets very complicated because of the traumas that I've been through. But here's the mystery and the power of the solution of this journey. Your practice of remembering God every day with your heart, really remembering the Supreme Soul with your heart lovingly, not because you want something or something is happening bad in your life, just because of pure love. This is my Mother, father, teacher, guru, best friend, business partner. This is my everything. And when there's this pure remembrance between you, the soul, and God, you neutralize all the karmas that you're carrying. And so when you take your rebirth, your life is really good because you're not holding on to a lot of trauma and karma. So I'll take this time now and we'll just do a little meditation and just hold the space for a little bit, and the feeling that we've been here before, no? And so we'll just take this time. Deja vu. Living in the dream of deja vu. I've seen you before. I've heard you before. I've known you before. I now have the chance to experience life once again. I can feel it. I've been here before. The memory remains deep in the soul. I can't forget those glimpses. The memory that says, you know me. We've done this before. This deja vu is familiar, yet I'm seeing it with new eyes. I've done this before. I've been here before. It's deja vu. When I put that album together with Ricky Cage, I wrote those lyrics, and I remembered the particular period that I was in as well. I had just met somebody and I said to them, oh my gosh, I remember you, deja vu. And The wordings came from that. Santosh Bhai, did I do any due diligence to reincarnation, and does awakened intelligence confirm some of the thoughts that I have shared today? Reincarnation is a belief found in various religious and philosophical traditions that after death consciousness is reborn into a new body. The specific beliefs about reincarnation vary widely across different cultures and religions. In some traditions, reincarnation is seen as a continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, where individuals may be reborn multiple times into different forms depending on their karma or actions in previous lives. So huge, so huge, so huge. It's seen as a process of spiritual evolution where individuals undergo successive lives to learn and grow towards enlightenment or liberation. Powerful, I tell you. Because what I feel about, especially the beauty of reincarnation, is you gain so many experiences. Because many times when you're just with your ego thinking, you only stay one way. You know, you're very stubborn. You're like, no, 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 no. But sometimes the universe says, I have to force you to grow. Okay, let's leave the body through a car accident, through cancer, through falling down, through maybe just growing old. But I'm just saying that it's like it keeps telling you, expand, learn. Learn so you can develop many gifts and see humanity largely. So as you know, I read the Aviak signals, which are these very powerful ideas and thoughts and guidance after our advanced class of the Murli in the Brahma Kumaris. Today is the spiritual flame loves God. The spiritual flame loves the moths who know how to sing and dance in happiness. That's our Sister Gita. For this, finish the long list of mine. This is mine. My grandchild, my home, my daughter-in-law, etc. Forget all the many others and remember the one. And you will be liberated from labor, and you will continue to swing in the swing of happiness. All of these attachments where we think it's mine, God the Supreme, Baba says, no, it's yours, it's ours, we're all sharing with each other's glory. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody out there. Thank you so much for joining us. Jyoti, Shobha, Tamil, Sue, Anita, Beth, Dr. Madhavi, thanks for coming to see Sister Gita. Rashmi, Divya, Baba, App Store, Gigi or Gigi, thank you. Sentil Bhai, Anita Ben, Dinesh Bhai, Yvonne, I think you're coming to see us today, so please let me know your time of arrival. Lilowati, Wendy Cummins, good to see you back on again. Manmohan, so many. Joanne Cochran, oh, welcome back. So happy to see you again, or know that you're with us again. So lovely to be with you. So thank you so much for joining us on The Next Normal. And as I usually close the show, to really reduce our attachment, which creates a lot of unnecessary complications, please practice to love everybody the same. You'll experience a great deal of freedom in your relationships. We'll end today with Sister Gita's picture and a song on her behalf. And even though she's still with us and she's coming home tomorrow, I want to keep sending the purest vibrations to a soul that has impacted thousands of people around the world. Thank you all so much for being with us on this journey. I know it's quite personal and intimate, but at the same token, I hope that whatever I'm sharing with you is helping you too in your own life. Take care. Thanks for joining The Next Normal.
Today, I'm thankful. I will thank everyone, reminding myself that life is a privilege and is God's gift. I thank Him first, and I extend my thanks to everyone who comes in my heart and mind. I share good wishes and pure feelings, wishing everyone the best in life. Say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In this meditation, I invite you to become aware of the two types of consciousness that reside within the soul. Let us choose the consciousness of light over the darkness of past stories, the history that gets into our way. Let us now remember our connection to the Supreme Energy, the Supreme Soul, the being of light. For far too long, we have allowed the external forces to dictate our inner force. And at this time, I choose to get off the grid and step inside the heart, to be myself. I choose to no longer be under the influence of what the world tells me, what my parents have told me, my spouse, friends, or anyone who has been a negative influence in my life. In this meditation, I stand strong in the original, eternal, imperishable worth of the soul. I, the being of light, the soul of power, I step into the heart